a heavy user. And heavy user, I don't mean you just open multiple applications day to day. I mean you do professional style of work on your phone. I don't know how many people are doing that, but some people do. And if you're that person, the iPhone 8 internally is a nice upgrade. But day to day, most of us out there, we don't need this kind of performance. It's not that much of an upgrade over the iPhone 7. And when I say we don't need this performance, I mean right now. As it stands right now, nobody was really asking for a major performance upgrade. People are focused on design this year, and that's why everybody is waiting their pants off for the iPhone 10. And I think, a lot of people are going to be disappointed when a couple years from now or a year from now when Apple gets rid of the notch. They're going to be like, oh, why did I buy the iPhone 10? Unless, of course, you're an upgrader every year, then that doesn't really matter. But anyway, the performance right now is not the fastest upgrade over the iPhone 7. But over time, I think you will see that power of the A11, which feels like it's a desktop class performance here on a phone. So going forward, this phone will last extremely long. Also, I do want to mention that the iPhone 8 actually has improved GPS performance. So if you want great GPS performance, this actually has better GPS performance than the iPhone 7. In addition to that, this does include Bluetooth 5.0. So if you connect to Bluetooth devices a lot, you're going to notice you get better Bluetooth connectivity here over the 4.2 over here on the iPhone 7. Now, one problem with that, though, is not all Bluetooth devices are 5.0 ready, but most of the Bluetooth devices that I've tested have already worked on the iPhone 8. Okay, guys, so let's take a quick second to talk about the iPhone 7 versus the iPhone 8 in the calling and audio department. So again, we have no headphone jack. This is done for Apple. You're never seeing that again. That's my prediction. You will never see a headphone jack on an Apple product going forward. I think they're even going to diminish it from the iPad lineup. You might see it on the MacBook because that's a pro device, although some people say that that's not really a pro device anymore. But getting onto these phones, I didn't really hear too much difference when it comes to phone calling. Both held signal just fine. Never had a problem really on the iPhone 7. I don't think it's better than some Motorola phones out there. And I think even some Samsung phones do better on the signal, but it still got the job done here. Now, in terms of the stereo speakers, the iPhone 8, even though it's claimed to be louder, it doesn't really sound louder. It just sounds better. So what I mean by that is that the music, you're not going to be blown away by like, oh my God, it sounds so much louder. But you are going to be blown away by like, it sounds so much better, like clearer, bassier, crisper. That's what I could say about the stereo speakers and the audio on the iPhone 7 versus iPhone 8. All right, guys, so let's wrap this up with a conclusion here. Now, I know a lot of people are pissed off about how Apple is increasing their prices every year on their smartphone. Well, people keep buying them in droves, and it's basic economics, it's basic business. I mean, if a company has demand that is sky high, where they can't even keep up production on a phone, which most companies would probably grow like 150% if they were able to sell what Apple can sell, then Apple wouldn't be able to increase their prices. But because the consumer is so into these phones, they can do that, and they're going to continue to do it until it tests the limits. Now, I think the iPhone 10 has pushed people. We're going to see how this plays out. But even the iPhone 8 here gets a price increase over last year of about $30 or so. I think it's 50 actually on this guy in the base model. But what's nice is you get 64 gigs. But what's the real deal here? If you buy an iPhone 7 today at Apple, you're paying about $549 for the base model. I think it goes up $100 for the 128 gigabyte model. Here on the iPhone 8, it's a substantial increase if you go to the 256 gig. You go from $699 to $849. So that's a huge price increase if you want to go 4 times the storage here on a iPhone 8. That's very different from Samsung, which gives you like a 64 gig phone, and you would pay like $50 to get another 128 gigs instead of like $150 upgrade on an iPhone 8. But the real deal here is I think not a lot of people are going to be doing this upgrade. And Apple has actually already slowed production of the iPhone 8. And this phone is really just for people who have an iPhone 6, iPhone 6S, and they're not crazy about the new design. They want to stay with their old iPhone. And I think this is maybe the last year we're going to see this design. I don't think Apple can pull this off one more time. And if they do, it'll be pretty hilarious. But I don't think a lot of people will jump on this design anymore. But the real problem, I think, is it's the design. People are visual creatures. We want to see change. We don't want to see the same thing repeated over and over again. It's basic evolution right there. Anyway, if you found this video helpful, enjoyable, it may help you make a decision on which phone to buy, if you're going to stick with your iPhone 7 or you're going to an iPhone 8, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up down below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well, and peace.